What's up, guys? This is going to be my third video. Hope you guys are enjoying. Today we're going to be making a baked chicken and zucchini with a Roma tomato sauce. So the first thing we're going to do, now before we get into that, really the only fat that's in this is on the chicken, and I've already cut most of that off. We're going to be using an olive oil cooking spray, which has no fat whatsoever. The sauce is the tomatoes, salt, pepper, garlic powder, a little bit of balsamic vinegar, and a little bit of hot sauce. That's all it is. So what we're going to do, we're going to bake everything at 325 for 30 minutes, and then we're going to take the tomatoes and put them in a blender with the vinegar, the hot sauce, and the spices. I've made this before. It's beautiful. So first things first, you're going to take your Roman tomatoes and just cut them in half. That's all we're going to do. The preparation on this dish is actually very, very simple. It's just cut, bake, blend, serve. It's really all it is. So we're going to take our sheet pan, lined with foil, take a little bit of olive oil cooking spray. Don't need to go nuts. And we're going to place the Roma tomatoes on the sheet pan, cut side up. Now we're going to hit those with a little bit of the olive oil cooking spray. Now, I've already mixed up the salt, pepper, a little bit of garlic powder. So we're going to lightly sprinkle that on there. You don't want too much on them initially, because you're going to put more. You're going to put a little bit more in the sauce when you put it in the blender. Now we're going to do the same thing with our zucchini, or squash, if you prefer. I mean, I like both, so I use both of them. Cut the ends off. Cut them in half down the middle. Again, very simple. Gotta love garbage disposals. And again, sheet pan, a little bit of olive oil spray. Hit them all with the olive oil spray. And again, very light, the seasoning is really your taste. I mean, that's completely up to you on how much you want to put on. And we're going to do the exact same thing with our chicken breast. Like I said, I've already cleaned them, so cut all the fat and the yuck off. Yes, I said yuck. That is a formal culinary term, by the way. And guys, please, I can't stress this enough. When you're working with chicken, always wash your hands afterwards. You definitely don't want to end up in the hospital or worse from salmonella. Not fun. So again, hit it with the cooking spray. Now the nice thing about this cooking spray is that it tastes like olive oil. It tastes just like olive oil, it really does. And there's no fat, there's no added calories, there's no sodium, no nothing. So, but again, we're going to season the chicken. My hands are still wet, that's why I'm not putting it on with my hands. You got to leave a little bit of fat on the chicken, because like they say, fat is flavor. To an extent. Alright. Now, what I'm going to do is put these in the oven. Put all three trays in the oven. 325 for 30 minutes. And I'll show you what to do from there. See you in about a half hour. What's up, guys? We're back. It's been about an hour. The chicken breasts that I used were a little bigger than I anticipated. So you want to make sure when you're cooking chicken, especially like thick chicken, you want to cook it until the juices run clear. That way you know it's cooked completely and it's cooked all the way through. And because believe me, you don't want undercooked chicken. That'd be bad. We're gonna let the chicken rest because if you slice, as you probably know, if you slice meat, any kind of meat, as soon as it comes off the heat or out of the oven or whatever, you're gonna lose all the juice. So we gotta let it sit for a minute or sit for a few minutes, and then we'll slice it up. So in the meantime, we're gonna take the tomatoes that just came out of the oven, and we're gonna drop these into the blender. Now you want to be careful when you put hot food in the blender, because that's not a burn you want. Yes, I speak from experience. Okay, so we're going to Okay, so we're going to blend the tomatoes until they're smooth. Now we're going to add a little bit of the same seasoning that we dusted them with before they went into the oven. Now the original recipe called for 1 teaspoon of hot sauce. In all honesty, the spices and stuff like this are strictly to your taste. I'm going to put about 6 dashes in. And we're going to take some balsamic vinegar. Again, strictly to your taste. If you want a little bit more balsamic flavor, which I do, you add a little more. If you just want a little bit of that acidity from the vinegar, just add a tablespoon or 2. I love balsamic vinegar. Let me put the lid back on. You always want to taste your food as you go. You can always add, if it's not seasoned enough for you, you can always add more, but you can't take it away. So always just add a little bit at a time. That's perfect. For me. You might like a little more salt, a little more pepper, whatever have you. Now we're going to cut the chicken. Okay, like I said, the chicken breasts were a little bit bigger than I anticipated, or than I thought, I should say. So we'll go from there. Now, what you want to do, or how I did it originally, take our plate, and I like to cut the chicken on a bias. And we just spread it out so it looks pretty. Presentation is everything. So now we're going to take one of the zucchini and do the same thing. Now we take a little bit of our sauce. Actually, you know what? Can't see the plate. So give me 1 second. Again, you always want to keep your workspace clean. Now we're going to take the plate and just spoon some of the sauce over the top. And that's it. There we have it. Baked chicken with Roma tomato sauce and baked zucchini. If you like this recipe, give it a thumbs up. If you like what you see so far on my channel, subscribe. And we'll see you next week. Have a great weekend.